We are hearing Bhagavad Gita. Today we will start 15th chapter, Purushottam Yoga, or the principle of attaining the Supreme Lord Shri Krishna. The Supreme Lord then proceeds to the comparison of samsara, or the world, with the ashwatha, or the pipala tree, ficus religiosa. This tree is to be uprooted by means of non-attachment, and the realm from which there is no return is to be sought thereafter. One should surrender himself to the Param Purush, or the Supreme Person, fully and unconditionally. Those who are free from mundane opposites can reach that unchangeable and blissful region, which is the eternal abode of the Supreme Lord. When a soul departs from the body, he takes away with him the 5 subtle senses and the mind, the 6th sense, and gets them back when he assumes another body. He himself is the part of the Supreme Lord and is eternal. The Lord dwells in the hearts of all. From him proceeds memory, knowledge, etc. The Supreme Lord is the one to be known in the Vedas, and it is he who is both the author and the knower of the Vedanta. There are 2 Purushas, viz. Kshara, that is the changeable, and Akshara, that is the Brahman and Paramatma, superior to the former. Besides this, there is the 3rd, the highest Purush, known as Purushottam or Bhagavan, who is superior to both Brahman and Paramatman. Hence, he is proclaimed as the Supreme Lord Bhagavan in the Vedas. So long as there is Brahmanhood or Paramatmanhood standing on equal footing with the conception of Bhagavan, the only object of worship, pure devotion does not arise. But as soon as the true conception of the Supreme Lord Purushottam arises in the unalloyed existence of a jiva, pure devotion is there without any reserve. This was summary. Shri Bhagavan Uvach. Urdvamulam adashakham ashvatam prahur avyayam chandam siyasya parnani yastam veda savedavit. The Supreme Lord said, O Arjuna, he who knows this samsara as the 3 ashvata of life, with roots upwards and branches below, and with the ancient hymns of knowledge as its leaves, is versed in the Vedas. Explanation. If you think it desirable to live in this world on strict Vedic principles, then listen, O Arjuna, what this world is. This world represents an Ashwata tree of unbounded extension for the Karmins, with roots above and shoots below, and its leaves being the Vedic hymns, dealing with fruitive actions. Originating from me, the Supreme Principle, this world tree is meant for reaping the fruits, good or bad, of actions done by the fallen souls. It is regarded as eternal to the seekers of fruit. Those jivas who became averse to Krishna and wanted to enjoy this Maya world, it looked very dazzling, and we thought it will give us happiness. Then we are enveloped by Maya with false ego, then we do karma actions. And for those karma actions, we have to reap the fruits. So this is this world tree. No one can escape reaping the fruits of his own actions. What we did, what you sow, that is what you will reap. And Krishna is the giver of fruits, so there is no any mistake and no any injustice or anything. And it is for our own good to realize the true nature of our actions and can rectify. This is meant. So this tree, Ashwata tree, it is regarded as eternal to the seekers of fruit. They think it is eternal, but he who knows its changeability and perishableness, it will perish, is in the know of the Vedic truth. You may ask me, O Arjuna, why is this world soiled by three qualities? Whence is this tendency to enjoy? Who is this jiva that can transcend this qualitative region by nirguna bhakti? What is that attributeless abstract Brahman? And what is meant by the mainstay of Brahman? I may say in reply that this world represents a wonderful tree of which Satya Loka is its topmost region. That is where Brahma resides, Satya Loka. That is still Mike, but it is topmost in Maya, topmost region. And Mahat Tattva, its primal sprout, born of the seed impregnated by me in the womb of my Mayic Prakriti, which begets Mahat Tattva. And Mahat Tattva begets Ahankar, that is false ego, and Ahankar produces the Mahabhutas. Mahabhutas means these 5 gross elements. Its lower region represents earth, ether, and heaven. Its branches represent all kingdoms, with celestial, human, and animal, including reptiles and insects. Non-devotees call this as the ideal fruit tree of the fourfold pursuits of their life, with dharma, artha, kama, and moksha, and hence eternal. They think it is eternal. Seems like, but it is not. That is why it is called Maya. Maya has two meanings. One is Maya, not that, as it appears. It appears eternal, it is not. And another is that which you can measure. That is also Maya. Because transcendental, you cannot measure. It is unlimited. So, by the influence of illusion, we think it is eternal. Brahma also told when he was praying to Krishna that this world appears as eternal, but it is not. That is why we want to enjoy and we think we will remain eternally and all this, but that is illusion. But the devotees perceive its transitoriness with their spiritual eyes and hence do not hanker after those fourfold objectives, dharma, artha, kama, moksha. They are all related to this world, even moksha, because you want to be free from this world, so that moksha is dependent on this world. It is like if you are in debt, then when you pay off the debt, then you are released from that uncomfortable or pain or something of that debt, and then you are free from that. That is mukti. But there is no positive happiness, only release from suffering and release from undesirable state depends on that undesirable state. So that is why all they are related to this world. The fruitive actions of the Vedas, with their multiplying capacity of living, are the beautiful leaves that adorn the tree. A knower of these truths is the knower of the Vedas. Like Prahlad Maharaj, he saw Sanda and Tamarka, they are teaching Vedas, but they have no devotion to Supreme Lord. Means they are not the knower of the Vedas and they are not bona fide gurus. They are only knowledgeable in those karma kant portion of the Vedas, and that is meant for gradual elevation, not to stick there and for the sake of enjoyment. They were teaching him dharma, artha, kama and other boys, but Prahlad, because he is the knower of the Vedas, did not accept that. He accepted devotion to Supreme Lord. Adaschordvam prasritastasya shaka guna pravridha vishaya pravala adhaschamula nyanusantatani karmanubandhini manushya-loke. The branches of this tree with tendrils of sense objects nurtured by the three qualities or Maya are spread upwards and downwards. The tertiary roots of this tree are spread below and into this world in the shape of actions which bind people. Let me open these words. Tendrils. Tendril means a slender, thread-like appendage of a climbing plant, often growing in a spiral form that stretches out and twines around any suitable support, like slender curl or ringlet of hair. Something this. So, the branches of this tree with tendrils of sense objects, nurtured by the three qualities or Maya, are spread upwards and downwards. The tertiary. 1 second. Third in order or level. Tertiary roots. Period, something, I don't know. The tertiary stage of the disease, third in order or level, I don't know. The tertiary roots of this tree are spread below also into this world and the shape of actions which bind people. Explanation. The branches of this tree symbolize created beings nurtured by the three qualities of Maya and provided with the tendrils of sense objects. They are said to have spread upwards, forwards, and downwards from the standpoint of the law of karma. The roots of these three, symbolizing the initial stirrings in Prakriti, are described to have spread below, taking the shape of actions wherewith to bind the people of the world. Because banyan tree is having roots and growing, and then the branches also, they will go down and they will also enter the earth. So here further explanation is there. Like a banyan tree, the long tangles of this tree are spreading downwards in search of fruitive actions. The upper and lower branches represent the creatures of the celestial and animal kingdoms respectively, and are ever growing into innumerable leaves, that is to say, phenomena of enjoyable sound, sight, taste, touch, and smell, nourished by the three qualities. But there is a precious treasure hidden underneath the root of the tree, for which the long stalks are spreading their grasping hands below. From the upward Satyaloka down to the lowest region of the netherworld, its branches are spreading up and down, entangled at the root by the law of karma, that is to say, the desire for enjoyment being the root cause of doing good or bad actions. Root cause of karma is aversion to Krishna, misuse of our relative independence, and then because we want to enjoy, then Maya provides us with some false ego. From that false ego come this desire to perform worldly action in order to be happy. In so many varieties of ways. That is why all these branches, all so many varieties of it. But the root is one, so the result also is one. It cannot fulfill you. When in Bhagavatam, when Navajogendras, they are pure devotees, sons of Rishabdev. They came to Bidehoraj Nimi, king of Videha, Nimi Maharaj. He was a household, but he was a pure devotee. That is why he could recognize that they are pure devotees. Pure devotee can recognize pure devotee. So he worshipped them and was very happy. And he played the pastime of being a conditioned soul, like Mother Devahuti. Out of humbleness, he worshipped them and said, "You have no any other business to go around except to rescue fallen souls like me. For this reason you go. That is your compassion. So I am entangled in Maya. I have no control over senses. How I can be rescued? Please tell me some easy process." Then Prabuddha Muni, first he gave Virechanam. Like in Ayurveda, first you have to take that purgative, all toxins and everything has to be removed from the body by a certain process. Then medicine will be given, then it will work properly. If you don't purify, then medicine will not work. Like that, here Prabuddha Muni first gave Virechan. He has to remove all other ignorance and hopes and illusions and all this. Then he can prescribe proper method. Otherwise, one will not be decisive, will not decide, and that decision will also not be stable. So first he told him, you see, people, all living entities, sentient living entities, they have same goal in life, all. To be happy and to remove distress. Same goal. And for that reason, they start karma to get something. And then he's describing many different examples of karma that is out of false ego. We are trying to, in what way we are trying to get happiness, but he explains that as with all material karmas and things, the principle is the same. When you don't have it, like for example money, you suffer. Then you have to do effort to get it, and that effort is suffering. And then when you get it, you have suffering because you are always worried how to preserve it, because it is transitory, it will not last. So we are always worried how to preserve any material thing. And then when you lose it, inevitably After some time, again, it will be suffering. So in all three phases, when you don't have it, you suffer. When you have it, you suffer. When you lose it, you suffer. With all things. Prahlad Maharaj also told for the jivas, embodied jivas, when they are trying for these material things, always disturb. So you see, Videho Rajnimi. People, they start karma in order to remove unhappiness and to get happiness. But behold, they're getting just the opposite. Troubles increase and happiness is not gotten. You see this, just the opposite they're getting. So this is Virechanam. If one can accept this, it is a fact, but generally we don't want to believe it. And we go on trying to get those things. But one who can accept, yes, it is a fact, it can be seen, it is a fact, he can admit he is that much sincere and he has no false hopes, then he took that Virechan. Means he will not want karma anymore because it does not give what you want, what you need. So he will give up that. Then medicine can be given. But if someone will argue, no, if I will do this, then I will be happy. If I will do this, I will be happy, all this. So it means he is unable to accept the medicine because Virechanam he cannot do. He cannot give up wrong actions. Not understanding their wrong actions, they're ineffective for what he wants. So as long as one cannot see through that karma, that it is cheating actually, he will not be able to accept what is the actual proper action, medicine. But Videho Rajnimi accepted, said yes, it is true. It is sin. Then Prabhupada Muni said, so Tasmad Gurum Prapadeta Jigyasu Shreya Uttama. Videho Rajnimi, you have to take shelter of bona fide Guru and ask for your eternal welfare. And Guru is Pare Shabdachanishnatam Brahmani Upasamashrayam. He is well versed in purpose of the Vedas and he is fully devoted to God. So you have to take shelter of such bona fide Guru. He can show you what is the right action. He will prescribe devotion to Krishna. Then you will get what you actually want or need. All living entities, they want happiness and removal of distress, and that permanent. So that is possible only by the grace of bona fide Guru, who is personal associate of Krishna. He only can prescribe actual devotion to Krishna, and by that devotion to Krishna one can get what he needs. But as long as one has false hopes of by enjoying Maya I will get happiness, then he will be unable to accept devotion because of those false hopes. So this medicine, even if you show to him, or if it is there available, he will not be able to accept it and it will be ineffective because he did not take Virechanam. He is still hoping and still trying. Brahma also told, we see in Bhagavatam it is there. He said, we see that we lost money and we were suffering, or we lost near and dear ones, worldly relations, we lost how everything we lost, we saw, and how much suffering is there because of this. But still, even after getting the experience, not only to know it is all temporary, but even after getting experience, it is seen that jivas, again they will try for that same thing, which they already experienced. It is temporary and is full of suffering. Still they will try for that thing only. Brahma said, why? Why is this? Because they did not take shelter of Supreme Lord, so that ignorance is not removed. Still they will try in a wrong way. As long as this ignorance is there, who am I, from where I came, to whom I belong, as long as that ignorance is, again and again we will try for that thing. And this knowledge, practical knowledge, we can get from bona fide guru. Then when we give up wrong action, and also it is stated there, our Gurudev used to say, we have to give up our arrogance, that we can get it by our own effort. Karma means false ego. I will, by my own actions, I will get bliss. But for getting actual bliss, that is Supreme Lord, you need His grace. That grace comes in the form of grace incarnate form, that is bona fide Guru. So we have to submit to Him to receive that knowledge and to receive that strength, devotional, spiritual strength, and to receive the service of Krishna. So we have to submit. Then when we can perform devotion to Krishna, then actually we will get what we need, what we want. So the root here, it is said, the root is desire for enjoyment. The root is the desire for enjoyment, being the root cause of doing good or bad action. And this desire for enjoyment is due to ignorance. What is the cause of ignorance? Aversion to knowledge, that is Supreme Lord. When we turn away from the sun, then we see the shadow. When we turn towards the sun, then everything is seen in proper perspective. Krishna is all existence, all knowledge, all bliss, Satchidananda. When we become averse to Him, then we see this Maya. It is Asat, Achit, and Nirananda. So, to turn our face towards Krishna, we need the grace of someone who is already turned towards Krishna, and then we can get proper action. Narupamasye hatato palabdhayate nanto nachadir nacha sampratishta ashvatamenam suvirudhamulam asangashastre nadridhe nachitva tatah padam tat parimargitavyam yasmin gatana nivartanti bhuya tam eva chadyam purusham prapadye yatah pravritih prasrita purane. The real form of this world tree is very difficult to ascertain, for it seems as if it has no beginning, no end, and no support. This deep-rooted tree must be felled down by the sharp sword of non-attachment. So search should be made for the absolute truth, having realized whom, people do not return again to this world. From him, this means from Krishna, this ever continuous worldliness emanates. Shelter should be taken in that primal Lord. This is his Maya. So here, explanation is given. There are divergent opinions about this tree. Some say it is real and some it is unreal. Whatever it may be, it is real in the sense that it exists, and is unreal in the sense that it is changeable and perishable. Really taking shelter in the primal man, the absolute truth, search must be made for him who is the fountainhead of all things that live and move, and from whom the eternal worldliness emanates, and for that blissful realm whence there is no return to this world. If thou, O Arjuna, dost really desire for the cessation of this worldly thirst for enjoyment, then surrender thyself to me, who is that primal Lord, and worship me with pure devotion. Here it is said that one has to cut down, fell down this tree. How? By the sharp sword of non-attachment. But Krishna already explained what is the real meaning of Vairagya. It has two aspects, two things. One is Param Purusha Raga, Vishishta Param Purusha Raga, to be specially attached to Param Purusha, that is Supreme Lord, Supreme Person, Purushottam, Krishna. Another is to be detached from this non-eternal world. Both we have to do, but focus is given on practicing attachment to Supreme Lord. Because the more you are attached to Supreme Lord, the more you get knowledge and also higher taste, by which you can easily give up ignorance, that this world is full of bliss, that is ignorance. We hope like that, falsely hope. But if you worship Supreme Lord, then you can see through those false hopes that they are really false hopes. So knowledge you get, and also you get higher taste, higher happiness by serving Krishna, which defines all other so-called pleasures as insignificant, as not fulfilling. So the more one can be attached to Krishna, the more easy and natural, without difficulty, it is for him to get detachment from this world. But if one only practices like Buddhists or Gyanis, they know this is all temporary. Buddhists say temporary. The Mayavadis, they say it is false, so you have to be detached. So they try a detachment, but that is very dry detachment. And any moment you may fall down again, because there is no real happiness in only removal of the stress, but no real happiness. And no lila, no nothing. So something is missing. So at any moment, or yogis also, they may again try to enjoy. But devotees, because they are practicing devotion to Krishna, they're getting real substance, real happiness, everything. So for them, detachment to this world is quite natural and stable. Like Raghunath Das Goswami, gradually how he achieved that by devotional practice. Yes, so here the search should be made for the absolute truth, means Krishna, having realized whom people do not return again to this world. They have no desire, cannot have. Like that example I like to give. If you're thirsty, one side you have glass with sand, another side you have glass with water, and you are thirsty. So if you drink sand, then you cannot quench your thirst. You will increase your suffering. But if you drink water, then you will quench your thirst. So